Everybody, welcome to the Paranormal Portal. It's our Wednesday pre-Christmas hump day celebration, I guess. Yeah, that's what it is, and that's what we're celebrating. And whatever you celebrate, of course, everybody's welcome here. If you celebrate Christmas, great. If you celebrate Hanukkah, then great. If you celebrate Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate, we're just happy to celebrate with you. And thank you so much for all of you that'll be joining us, and all of those of you who have joined us, and those of you that'll watch it in your own time, just because that's how you roll. But in any case, I'm not alone here, folks. I'm not doing this by myself. I freaking refuse. But I have help. My help is in the wings here. It's the big toe is here, ladies and gentlemen. My good friend and co-host, Mr. Don Longbeard.
He forgot Yule, didn't he? He forgot to say Happy Yule.
Happy Yule, happy solstice.
That's today.
It is today. Well, and you'll be glad that you tuned in.
You'll be glad. I see what you did there.
Thank you. All right. Absolutely. It was good enough for the Blue Line Bigfoot. It was good enough for this show, too.
That's true. That is true.
But welcome, everybody. Hope you guys are doing great. We got a full show of fun on the wings waiting for you. And sorry we got a little bit of a late start, but I'm here to tell you, after a fresh day of snow hell and practicing new and exciting methods of snow removal, I'm all wiped out. I'm absolutely snoggered, if that's a word. It is now.
It is now.
It was a beast, Don. This is a lot of snow and more coming.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
I tell you.
It's $60 a shot when I get somebody else to come do it. I tell you, I'd shell that out gladly some days.
Oh man, yeah, I'd peel that out of my wallet in a hurry.
Gosh, yes.
Even for my little bit, I would have been today. I would have been glad to throw a few 20s at somebody and say, "You take care of it."
You're making it rain, please.
I'll get it in ones, and then I can make it rain. Just hit it 40 times, and that's a get. That's a deal.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know, folks, but we are here to entertain you as well as we know how, and sometimes that's awesome, and other times, well, I can tell you haven't seen it anywhere else. But you are here with us here on the portal, and no guarantees, but hopefully you'll leave here wildly entertained if we're doing our job. What do you think, Don?
I try not to. People start expecting
That's
things.
Right, yeah. We don't want to
want to raise your expectations.
Don't want to build it up too much. And I don't know. I'm feeling like I'm feeling a little Christmas spirit. So.
Oh, Taco. Taco says, I'll come move your snow if I could be a special guest.
Dude.
Come on down.
I'll build you a wing here in the studio if you come move my snow. I will. I'll move some piles of crap on the other side of the cameras and give you a cot there. And you've got built-in snow removal.
You crash in the studio. The studio.
Be my guest, and then move the snow. Forget the rest. I don't know. That's all I got.
Gosh.
I'm not a winter person. I'm just not it. I not oh.
Wow.
I not oh, and then I'm there. Oh, cool. Yeah, but we hope you guys are doing good, whatever's going on in your world. We hope you're ready for the holiday season, whatever that means to you. We're planning on doing
He says, just let me sit in the middle. Yeah, that's what, hey, left nut.
Am I left nut and you're right nut?
That's right.
Does that make him the shaft or something? I don't even know where we're going here, but I'm really uncomfortable for whatever it's worth.
There's a D hole between us.
Oh my God. I just had a shower, but I feel like I need another one now. This is Wildly uncomfortable.
Oh, wow.
There you go. But we are, of course, going to do our best to entertain you better than what you've received so far. This disturbing, twisted mess that you've received so far.
It's like a plane crash.
It's like slow motion, brother.
How's that?
Did they say that? Hold on, let me rewind. It just doesn't get much better, folks. So if you have really high expectations, you're probably in the wrong place.
Oh my goodness. Oh goodness.
That's too nuts. Oh no, Taco, don't make it worse. It's already in the drain, brother. Yeah. Y'all iced Elf on the Shelf and told him snitches get stitches, but he didn't listen. Yep. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, forget Elf on the Shelf. We got D-hole in the middle. Oh God, help me. We're into a bad direction so far. I don't know how we recover from this, but I can tell you one way we can maybe recover, Don.
Would it be the news?
It would be the news.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Paranormal Portal newscast, where it hopefully gets better than what you've received so far. And if not, I really do apologize.
Well, where's your 8-ball?
It's up here.
Give that thing a shake. I know what it's going to say. Not likely.
Ask later. Don't bug me, you creeps. Yeah, something like that. But we got the newscast ready for you, folks, and some news articles pulled up. I hope they're wildly entertaining. We'll find out.
We'll make them wildly
entertaining. Yeah, anything. We can bend the hell out of anything around here. Just give us a little moment.
Oh,
let me just close the ads. First up, we got an article from unexplained-mysteries.com. Woman believes that she'd been cursed by a goblin trinket. I'm just saying. That's what
Goblin Trinket?
I'm not sure what that is.
Wow.
Oh, it looks like a trinket says goblin on it. Oh. It says, Georgina Jones got more than she bargained for when she bought a cute ornament from a charity shop. Georgina had been on a day trip recently when she spotted what she initially believed to be a simple ornament in a charity shop. A small porcelain pot with the word goblin written on it. It wasn't until she examined the ornament more closely upon returning home, however, that the significance of her purchase became apparent. When she opened it, to her horror, she found what appeared to be human ashes inside of it.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, no. When she opened it, to her horror, she found ashes. That's not the kind of present you want to unwrap. After posting her story to Twitter, she now believes that she has been cursed by the object. Wow. Oh, God, I just bought this little trinket in a charity shop because it made me laugh and said goblin on it. There was a Merlin, too.
Oh,
and I just opened it, and there's freaking ashes inside, she wrote. That's it. I'm cursed for life now, aren't I? In all likelihood, the pot had been recovered from a home, clear out, and taken to the charity shop to sell on. Whoever had put it up for sale seemingly hadn't checked inside first. Unfortunately, Georgina has been unable to return the item because she doesn't live in the area. So you need to make finding out who these ashes belong to your life's work now, one of her followers wrote on Twitter in response to her story. As things stand, the identity of the previous owner remains a total mystery.
Yeah, not likely going to find that one, are you?
I'm betting that's a cat or something, right?
I'd say more like a pet or something.
Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't name your kid Goblin, so.
Well, yeah, and you don't name. Well, I suppose you could call your kid Merlin too, but I mean,
probably, yeah.
But those strike me more as pet names, so I bet you that's what they are.
Yeah, probably so. But whatever the case, not the way you want to decorate your tree.
No.
Or your holiday funds.
But it's cute.
It is
you know what it might be is that she separated them.
Oh.
She might, because if there was another one that said Merlin, I wonder if they were
supposed to be a set.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh.
Yeah. Like two kitties that got hit by the same car or something.
Yeah.
They were inseparable. Well, not anymore.
No. Now they're apparently not. She can't even return it because she doesn't live in the same zip code.
Oh dear. Well, that's too bad. I can't imagine that. I'd be pretty creepy, but I'd be probably burying him in the yard with some ceremony or something, just to try to close that loop. There's the first story, folks. And I'm not sure where we're going from here, but let's see what else I got pulled up for you, because I don't even remember. That's the kind of fun I've been having today.
Oh, I just looked at that. I didn't read it, but I just looked at that.
What did you look at?
That right there.
Oh, okay. Funny. Well, great minds, right?
Yep.
This is, again, from unexplained-mysteries.com. Exquisitely preserved dinosaur embryo was discovered. I don't think that's it. I think that's an artist rendition, right?
I certainly
Artist
hope
impression of the embryo. Okay.
Oh, right.
An unhatched dinosaur resembling a 17-day-old chicken embryo has been discovered by paleontologists. The embryo, which looks like something out of a scene from Jurassic Park, measures around 27 centimeters long and belongs to a species of bird-like dinosaur known as Oviraptorosaur. Okay. It is not the only one of the best it is not only one of the best preserved dinosaur embryos ever found, but also one of the best pieces of evidence to further the link between dinosaurs and modern-day birds. Dating back between 66 and 72 million years, the egg was found in Ganzhou in eastern China. What's particularly interesting is the way in which the embryo is positioned within the egg, exhibiting a pose never seen in non-avian dinosaurs, but which closely resembles that of modern birds. Oviraptorosaurus, meaning egg thief lizards, were a group of theropod dinosaurs that roamed Asia and North America during the late Cretaceous period. While some were as small as a turkey, others were huge, measuring up to 7 meters.
Wow.
And they ate eggs? Jeez. What kind of eggs do they find?
Well, yeah, but then again, think about the size of dinosaurs.
I don't know, but I guess.
Well, it's 21 feet long, so, they were eating big freaking eggs.
Those are huge eggs. They got a set of eggs on those, I'm telling you. They were particularly close in evolutionary terms to modern birds, and have taught scientists much about the evolution of dinosaurs during this period and the emergence of the birds we see today. This dinosaur embryo inside the egg is one of the most beautiful fossils I have ever seen, said Professor Steve Brusati of University of Edinburgh. This little prenatal dinosaur looks just like a baby bird curled up in its egg, which is yet more evidence that many features characteristic of today's birds first evolved in their dinosaur ancestors. That is pretty cool. I got to admit, just to have that little peek at the way, life was back then.
Thank you, Maggie.
What did she do?
She gets $5.
Woo! Thank you, Maggie. Woo! I didn't have it open here, so I couldn't see, but that's always awesome. Thank you.
You gonna play that animation?
Huh?
You gonna play that animation?
This?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I mean, if it's just a bird egg that they're going to talk about, I think we probably covered it.
They have a tendency to.
Yeah, just repeat.
The story is exactly what it says.
Yeah,
so.
pretty much. It's all this. Right. There's an egg, unless it actually shows pictures of it. I guess we could look. No, not that. Not the sound, please. 70 million years ago, an ostrich-like dinosaur laid a clutch of eggs. We're not going to go full screen on this, but no ads either. Whatever the hell that's. The dinosaur oviraptoroid dinosaur never hatched. Instead, they fossilized what is now southeastern China. There it is. Wow. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
One of those eggs had exquisite preservation and still holds the skeleton of an oviraptoroid embryo. Researchers have nicknamed it Baby Yingling. Okay. Oh, look at that. That's kind of a cool rendition, right?
Yep.
Wow. That's got to be uncomfortable as hell.
Wow.
Before Baby Yingling died, it put itself in a unique position, similar to those that modern birds get into before hatching. Oh, he's just about to come through. Baby Yingling's head is resting on its abdomen, and flexed legs are on either side of its head. Huh. Put your head between your legs and... Oh, never mind. It's never been recognized in previously known dinosaur embryos as similar to late-stage modern bird embryo, which potentially suggests that similar pre-hatching behavior in this dinosaur embryo and modern birds. Very cool.
Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
That is cool. There's another picture. I guess that's what it would look like.
Oh, wow.
That's a face only a mom could love, right?
Yep. much it had.
Oh, yeah, it kind of does. Well, there you go. That's kind of
Awesome.
the back inside scoop of the whole deal, and you got some images to go along with it. So that's not bad at all, folks. Oh, I don't know if it is or not. Let's see how this is looking. Green light. Okay, I think we're okay. I know YouTube kind of. Is it laggy at all, folks?
No, it looks fine.
Okay, Don says it looks fine.
Yeah, it looks fine.
None of you, if you're seeing lag, let me know. Not much I can do about it, but at least if I know there's issues, we can try to tune things down, as it were. Let's go to the next one, which is right here. This one is creepy, folks. I don't know, something about bugs, but a bug of this size is a whole different kind of nightmare. And
Jesus, yeah.
I know, right? Going back into the world of dinosaurs, folks, this article from unexplained-mysteries.com. Prehistoric millipede was the size of a car. Of a car. Oh, good God, that's terrifying.
Yeah, that's huge.
Paleontologists have announced the discovery of a truly gigantic millipede on a beach in England. The gargantuan arthropod was discovered quite by accident when a large chunk of sandstone crumbled from a cliffside in Northumbria and ended up on the beach. It's a complete fluke of a discovery, said study lead author Neil Davies from the University of Cambridge. The way the boulder had fallen, it had cracked open and perfectly exposed the fossil, which one of our former PhD students happened to spot when walking by. Believed to date back to 326 million years ago, the millipede, which measured over 8 feet in length, would have easily been among the largest creatures to walk the earth at that time. These would have been the biggest animals on land and in the Carboniferous, Davies told Gizmodo. Incredibly, the fossil is believed to be that of the creature's discarded carapace, meaning that the millipede itself might have grown to be much bigger.
Yeah, it shed.
The largest living specimen of at the time must have been truly monstrous. Oh, a millipede of that size. Ooh,
Nope.
That's creepy. All right, well, there you go. That's the stuff of nightmares right there.
Yes, it is.
Because you know that could just eat you, and there's nothing you could do about it.
Hi, Mom.
Oh, Mom, how you doing, Mom? We're just celebrating pre-holiday stuff going on here. But yeah, that's creepy. Very, very creepy. A millipede the size of a car, folks. As if the ones on the King Kong movie weren't big enough.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's just terrifying.
The biggest bug I'd ever seen was like a pine louse. And it was like this long. It was about that wide.
Ooh.
It landed right on my hand at work one day. I worked in a...
Is that unusual for a pine mouse to get that big, or is that normal?
I don't know. It was the first time I'd ever seen one. I had to ask what it was. I was like, what? I was like, ah!
What was that thing that landed on me over at that conference?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I think that was some kind of a beetle, though. Just a giant beetle.
You still have that photo?
I probably do.
Yeah, if you do, please send it to me. I want to see what that was. That was really a weird looking thing. I don't know. Weird things landed on me. Landed on Don, obviously. All right, let's continue on.
Hi, Paisley.
Hi, Paisley. How you doing? Welcome to the festivities of the pre-holiday bash. All right, let's close that one and get to what's next. And what is next is some news from Mr. Elon Musk, who is continuing to push forward the needle on our achievements.
So, real quick, Mr. West, how the heck are you?
Oh, is he in here?
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you, bud.
Happy.
He says, best wishes, of course.
Well, very cool. Yeah, thanks for coming in. We like all this company and love that we're getting, and thanks for sharing the holiday with us. At least this pre-holiday that we're cooking. I don't know, it's just this significant day, right, Don?
Yeah.
Any day we get together.
Hey, look, they're actually sitting in the place together.
Yeah, we're actually here together. Here's the next article in our news fest tonight, folks, and this is from Elon Musk. Humans will land on Mars within 5 years, Elon Musk predicts. Well, I heard they're already there. I'm just saying. Have you heard that, Don? You know what I mean, right? The claims that there's a secret space presence of humans, at least in our solar system.
Well, yeah, because there have been claims of people who were drafted into basically the Space Marines, and they were on the moon.
Marines, yep.
Some of them have been to Mars.
Yep.
So
fighting a battle over there.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's all kinds of weirdness. And believe me, folks, I don't know what to think of stuff like that. I mean, I'm not saying that it's factual. I'm not saying that it's fantasy. I just don't understand. Those are one of those claims. But we actually had a guest on our show who talked about being one of those people. And it was interesting. And he was a very what's the word I'm looking for? It wasn't like a flaky guy. I mean, he was just a really articulate and intelligent guy. So I think it's pretty incredible. But maybe those things are true. But anyway, Elon says we're going to get there in 5 years if they're not there already. Mm-hmm. It says the SpaceX CEO and entrepreneur is certainly no stranger to making overly ambitious predictions. It's no secret that Musk has big plans for Mars through SpaceX. He intends to not only land humans on the red planet, but also to build an entire self-sustaining colony there. While this might sound like the stuff of the far-off future, Musk intends to achieve this within our lifetimes. I'll be surprised if we're not landing on Mars within 5 years, he told the Time. He told Time, not the Time.
What?
Mars Day. Yeah. Gotta do the bird, huh? It's Minneapolis music right there.
Settle down, Jerome.
hey, not Jerome. Yes. It says the next really big thing to build is self-sustaining city on Mars and bring the animals and creatures of Earth there. Sort of like a futuristic Noah's Ark. Well, that is ambitious. Got to give him credit.
Yeah.
We'll bring more than 2, though. It's a little weird if there's only 2.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, well, good. I mean, that's kind of the way to move the needle forward, I guess.
Well, you can always just start again with Adam and Eve, right?
Just bring chickens. I think that's probably good. You bring chickens, we're golden, I think.
yeah, meat and eggs.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
All you need.
To say that Musk's predictions are a little ambitious would be an understatement. Earlier this year, space policy expert Professor Greg Autry.
Policy?
I don't know. There's a space policy expert, I guess. I don't even. How would you be an expert on space policy?
I
don't. Is there a class for that, or how does that work?
Space Poli-Sci 1.
Poli-Sci, yeah. This Greg Autry predicted that Musk wouldn't reach Mars at all until 2029 of the absolute earliest, and that in itself is quite optimistic. NASA, meanwhile, doesn't expect to put humans on the moon until at least 2025, and this is with the help of SpaceX, which has been awarded the contract to build the lunar lander, and of which Bezos is suing the government because he thinks that one company shouldn't have so much power in the whole thing. Of course, he just wants his foot in that deal.
Right.
There's certainly no doubt that Musk intends to get humans to Mars as soon as possible. However, when it comes time to the practicality, 5 years just isn't going to be enough time. Why not? I mean, the whole thing is like, can you keep people alive in space?
Right.
Yes. Okay. Done. I mean, is there is there something golden that happens after that? If you can keep people alive, that's the deal, right? I mean, right? Is there anything more to it?
No, I wouldn't think so.
I don't understand. Well, I guess there's different challenges on Mars, but we got those little rovers running all over around over there. God, little rover could run over. Yeah. So,
little rover. Send those pictures right over.
Send Elon on over.
Wow.
But it's not like we don't understand what's going on Mars. So it's like we know the atmosphere. We know what's going on the planet. We know that, there's these very radical conditions are happening there, but they're not like stumbling into it unknown. They know what's going on there. So very interesting. But I think, I wouldn't put it past Elon Musk. He just seems to get things done.
That's true.
He really does get things done, folks. Okay, so, all right, let's go to the next one. Good luck to you, Elon. We hope you make that deadline and, help us spread our seed to the stars.
which went right along with what was in my head. Oh, no. Because I was just thinking about Bezos, rocket ship.
Oh, yeah. Looks like a big phallus.
Yeah, and then you said spread the seed to stars. Like, oh my gosh.
It's like poetry, the way this synchronicity, isn't it? All right, let's see what's next on our news fest for the night. That's optimistic, though, I think, right?
Yeah. Well,
I don't know.
wow.
Maybe we'll make it. Why not? All right, let's go to the next one. And this one's kind of right from the creepy pages for sure. I don't know how this works. Yeah.
I don't know. That's
Let's find out. This is from unexplained-mysteries.com. Baby is found growing inside a woman's liver.
thank God liver regenerates.
Apparently so.
Apparently
Into whole new beings.
She had a couple. Yeah, exactly.
Baby is found growing inside of a woman's liver. Doctors were shocked to discover an extremely rare type of ectopic pregnancy in a patient's liver.
Wow.
The visuals are so horrible. I don't even know how that would happen. The case is highlighted recently in a viral TikTok video of Dr. Michael Narvi, a pediatrician at the Center Hospital Research Institute of Manitoba in Canada.
Hospital.
Oh, Children's Hospital. What did I say?
Center.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
What?
I just still got things going through my head thinking of this liver pregnancy. I thought I'd seen it all. A 33-year-old woman comes in with a 14-day history of menstrual bleeding and 49 days since her last menstrual period, he said.
Wow.
What they find in the liver is a baby. She had an ectopic pregnancy in her liver. We'll see these sometimes in the abdomen, but never in the liver. This is the first for me. I don't even know what that means. Okay. But the video has since been viewed over 3.5 million times. An ectopic pregnancy occurs when a fertilized egg inadvertently becomes implanted in the fallopian tube. However, on extremely rare occasions, it can even fall out of the tube entirely and end up somewhere else, which in this case happened to be in the liver. Such a pregnancy is so rare, in fact, that only 14 cases were recorded between 1965 and 1999. Sadly, in this particular case, the fetus had to be removed to save the woman's life. Yeah. She's now recovering and is believed to be doing okay. Wow. Yeah. I wouldn't have guessed that in a million years. Oof. Well, we're not going to watch that one, folks.
No. Look it up on TikTok.
Yep, check it out on TikTok. Look for the liver baby or something. Search term liver baby.
Look, deliver baby.
Duh, liver baby.
No.
Thank you. All right, we'll go with it. It's kind of entertainment you tuned in for, folks. It's not our fault. All right, let's look at the next one, and hopefully it gets a little better here. This is our last one on the night.
Not likely.
Now, this one's kind of from the Bigfoot world, so Wes, since you're here, I'm glad you're here to hear this. You can weigh in on it if you'd like, but here is an article from unexplained-mysteries.com. It says, Mysterious Mounds. Does Bigfoot bury its dead? Just saying, maybe.
Wow.
All right, it says the discovery of unexplained mounds in the woods of Kentucky has sparked suggestion of Bigfoot graves. Despite the number of sightings that are reported each year, Bigfoot, the mysterious hairy hominid said to roam the forests of North America, and more than just North America, but remains as elusive as ever, prompting speculation that if these creatures do exist, they must be doing something to conceal their evidence of their existence. Ultimately, only a body will ever satisfy science, and assuming that Bigfoot is a mortal creature, the obvious question remains, why have we never come across the body of one that has died? Cryptozoologist and paranormal researcher Thomas Markham thinks that he may have the answer. Earlier this month, he put forward the idea that mysterious mounds discovered in the forests of Bell and Harlan counties of Kentucky could be evidence that Bigfoot buries its own dead.
So go dig it up.
Right, that'd be the quick answer. If these creatures really exist and are as intelligent as some sightings have implied, then it is certainly possible that they could exhibit such behavior, and it would go a long way to explaining why nobody has ever been able to locate the remains of a dead Bigfoot. This is in an area where I have had several Bigfoot encounters and found many tracks, said Markham. Now, of course, I have no idea if these are really graves or just odd humps of dirt on the ground. It could be nothing more than the natural formation of something a person did a long time ago. I have not and would not dig into them. Well, then why put forward the idea? Because if you're not going to do it, somebody's going to do it.
Somebody's going to do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing. I mean, we could say, well, Bigfoot are on the moon, but I'm not going to go check it out. I'm just saying they're on the moon. I mean, that's how much logic that is, right? To put forward a hypothesis like this, you kind of should look into it before you go vocal about it.
Right.
Could they build mounds? Sure. I mean, that's not a new idea, but to make a statement like that, but then say you're not going to check into it is kind of an odd place to be. I guess that way he can take credit for it if it ever does come up. See, right. I told you, I knew it.
Wow.
Okay, so it says, now, of course, I have no idea if these are related graves. I have not and would not dig into them, but am confident that Bigfoot does bury their dead. I think that's fair. I think a lot of us feel that way. Without examining the mounds directly, however, there's no way to really know for sure. Who knows? Perhaps the evidence we've been seeking all along is right beneath our feet. Not if the Smithsonian has anything to say about it.
No doubt.
They have a tendency to need those bodies sent in for research.
Yeah.
Research.
And they just mysteriously disappear.
They just never make it.
They never deliver.
It's terrible postal service for the Smithsonian, folks. They just don't. They don't get those overnight packages at all. It's really terrible, really tragic. But ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to conclude our newscast for the night. So let's get back to the other stuff that we so love to do. Well, we do love it, right? Yes. We love doing the shows. So. This is what we love to do, folks. More of the Paranormal Portal, and that's what we're going to do now. Let's see how we're doing. God, it's already 7:41.
Yeah.
That just seems way too fast. Okay. You'd think that after all these years I would just become used to that, but I was expecting to see like 7:20
right
when I got done with that. I wasn't expecting that.
Well, I can suck up a lot of time just laughing into the microphone. So,
if I ever run dry on material, I'll be like, Don, laugh.
No kidding.
Just let you laugh for 10 minutes. We'll be fine.
Boy.
We're going to do some more of the paranormal stuff here that we do. Let's see where we're going to start.
Ooh, a zombie Santa.
Huh?
A zombie Santa ornament.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Zombie Santa.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It's okay. That's paranormal. It's not normal, right?
It's just, nothing's normal around here.
So we've been doing some glitch in the Matrix stories. I think we'll do a few of these just because I think they're very interesting. There's a couple other things we're going to get into tonight. There's one from Brent Swanser that I want to get into a little later. This one sounds really cool, right?
Oh, that's not one I'm familiar with, but okay.
No, it's brand new.
Yeah.
It's right from December 18th he wrote this. It's The Mysterious World of the Changelings of Europe.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and then we're going to get into some phantoms and monsters, that there are truly Bigfoot in Pennsylvania, which stands to reason because, of course, Mr. Merkel's over there, and before he started the Confessionals podcast, he had a Bigfoot research group in Pennsylvania. So, and I know he did a lot of outings over there, and I don't know if those videos are still available. I think they would be online.
Oh, the unknown says, I'm so glad you guys don't do naked news. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we like the paranormal, but
we don't like being paranormal.
No, that's exactly what the naked news here on the show would be.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think we could even age restrict that enough.
I know. NSFW.
Yeah, oh man.
NSF anything.
Not safe for anywhere, anyhow, any reason. No, trust me, the me with most clothes on is preferable. You don't want to see this naked.
Covered head to toe is just good for me. Thanks. Sexier that way.
Right? Yeah. I'm much more palatable with clothing on. Trust me. I don't even like to see me naked. So
it leaves a lot to the imagination. Do what you will.
Just leave it laying and dying there. All right, so let's do a couple of glitch in the Matrix stories, and these are coming from Factinate.com, and these have been really pretty fascinating. We've been going through this article for a while. Again, Factinate isn't really a paranormal site, but they do have some paranormal material in here, and it's one of those aggregated Reddit stories, but they're really fascinating. Let's see what this one's all about. This is number 31 on the list, is where we are now, and it says, Cat Got Your Tongue. Once when I went with my grandmother to her friend's house, I was on the porch by myself with the grandmother's friend's cat. all of a sudden the cat looked at me right in the eyes and said the word meow.
Really?
It didn't sound like a cat meowing at all. It sounded very convincingly like a human carefully enunciating the word meow. 2 syllables in their most thoroughly unconvincing cat voice, like someone intentionally doing a very poor impression of a cat as a joke, but it was perfectly in time with the movement of the cat's mouth. And there was no one else around. So
meow.
Meow.
Meow. Cat, don't be catty.
God, you're such a cat. So it had to have been the cat saying it. So yeah, I met a cat that could talk, but the only word it knew was meow.
That's not a talkie cat, dude. Sorry, a cat saying exactly what a cat says. It doesn't matter how it says it. It
doesn't matter how poor the delivery was. It's still
exactly.
It's still cat talk.
What's my motivation? To convince him? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. There you go. The cat that said meow.
Oh, wow.
Okay, the next one is 32. A Tale of Two Cities. Who did that one? That was by Votis. Okay.
Wonderful.
A Tale of Two Cities. One time I was getting on an airplane and I saw this red-headed kid yelling out for some dude named Sebastian.
Hey, what's your name? Sebastian. Sebastian.
Yeah, that's hilarious. At a different gate. When I landed in the city I was flying to, I stepped off the plane and immediately noticed a different red-headed kid calling out for a different Sebastian.
Hey, Ezekiel.
It gave me one of the weirdest feelings that I've ever had.
No doubt.
So is gingers. It's a ginger thing. I don't know. Number 33, falling for it. One time I was walking my dog on his leash. There was a little plastic attachment that holds his poop bags. Okay. Nice design feature, I imagine. I accidentally dropped the leash onto the ground. I heard the plastic hit the ground, but it somehow ended up back in my hand. Imagine dropping something, hear it, and seeing it drop, but then somehow it's in your hand, all in under a couple of seconds. That's weird. I guess that's not normal, right?
Why is that dog's tooth? That's not a walking dog.
What is it?
You can't walk like a dog. Doesn't walk like that.
Yeah, it's both on the same side, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that dog.
That dog should be falling over.
Maybe that's in the next frame. We didn't get that one.
Yeah, exactly.
How do I walk again? I forgot. Number 34.
Have you ever tried to think about walking?
No.
Oh my God.
I try to keep it automatic as hell. The less I think about it, the more likely I am to succeed. It's like when you're carrying a full glass of water. And then if you obsess about the fact that you don't want to spill it, you can guarantee you're going to spill half that crap. Yeah, it's going to be all over the place. So you just pretend that you're not doing anything and just walk and it doesn't spill a drop. I don't know how that works. My dad actually taught me that. For some reason, if you worry about it, you're going to spill the hell out of it.
Right.
But if you just don't think about it, just grab the glass and walk, you probably won't spill much more than a drop. I don't know. The less we think about, the better. What does that tell you?
Exactly, yeah. Exactly. Just shut up, drive.
Just shut up and do your thing.
Wow.
Number 34. I just came to say hello. A few nights back, I was wide awake in the guest bed at my place and heard quiet footsteps. I then heard my wife say, "Hey," gently at the door. It seemed weird, so I got up to see what she wanted. What I found was chilling. She was fast asleep in bed. Before you ask, I was in a separate bed as I have a cold and have been snoring really loudly, but still. And that was by Eventful Animal.
Nah. I mean, come on. I mean, you were sleeping like crap to begin with because you got a cold.
And maybe a fever is involved.
Yeah.
Maybe a fever.
He said he was found it chilling, so he probably had chills. I mean,
fever.
Come on,
Yep.
your brain plays tricks. It likes to do that to you.
It does. Probably right. I don't know. It's fevers do weird things to us, and of course illness is usually accompanied by some kind of fever, especially if you got a cold. I don't know. I remember being a kid and hearing talking voices in my room. Right. I've shared that story many times here on the show, but I don't attribute it to a paranormal event. I attribute it to a fever, a really profound fever, but a fever. So I don't know. Weird, but that was by Eventful Animal. Let's go to the next one. 35. Wasn't this one 35? I guess not. If you could read my mind. Q Don's creepy laugh.
You might want to rethink that.
Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, stay in your own head.
Stay in your lane.
One time I was going to lunch with two coworkers, and we were discussing another coworker. One coworker made an assessment of the coworker we were discussing, and I agreed with him. He immediately looked at me and said he didn't say that, but he acknowledged that he was thinking it.
Oh.
Coworker 2 agreed that he didn't say it. Ah, little telepathy. Weak narf. Weik narf. W-E-I-K narf. Okay. That's who had the telepathy. Number 36, lighter than air. I once kicked the air while I was walking. I think we kick it regularly, don't we? I felt my foot hit something as my foot was at its highest point in the air, and I stumbled over whatever my foot had hit. When I looked up, I discovered that there was nothing there.
So you weren't watching where you're going to begin with. You just kicked your leg up and fell over and went, what the hell?
Yeah, that was by T. Manning 47.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, be careful, T. Manning. Number 37, tomorrow's another day or not. I swear I once repeated a full day. From start to finish, back when I was about 10 years old. I don't remember much since it was a long time ago, but I do remember noticing that it was the same date as what I thought yesterday had been. Besides this, nothing pops into my mind about the details of what the experience was like, but I still remember how weird it felt. Well, that isn't really much of anything, is it?
It's just welcome to Groundhog's Day, except in Groundhog's Day there was actually something going on.
Yeah, there was actually a series of events that didn't seem to be a part of his experience.
Unfortunate events.
Yeah. That was by Toop 12.
Rachel says he kicked some dude in a predator suit.
Yeah, all of a sudden, yeah, that clicking sound. In my head, that made more sense.
Sure, awesome.
I'm not real good at the predator sound, okay? Whatever.
Do you have any Grey Poupon?
Yeah, right. Number 38, a long-distance call. I was reading on my laptop in my bedroom when suddenly I heard my best friend calling my name, and it sounded like she was talking through the phone. I looked around for my phone, thinking she had somehow called and somehow one of my siblings has answered and thus hidden the phone somewhere in the room to prank me, but things got very weird very fast. No phone around, nor siblings. And meanwhile, my bestie is still talking. Answer me. Why aren't you talking? She then goes silent. I get really nervous, start crying, and ask my siblings if they have something to do with this. I then start to wonder if I'm going crazy and hearing voices. They all try to console me, and later I find my phone downstairs, not anywhere near where I had heard the voice coming from. The next day, I tell my friends about the experience, and my bestie says that she did, in fact, call me last night. She claimed that I did answer, and she then she kept calling my name for a couple of minutes, thinking I was playing with her, until she eventually hung up. To this day, I don't understand how the phone just answered the call on its own, or how I was able to hear my friend's voice from all the way to upstairs. Cheese doodles gal.
I have a theory on that.
Do tell.
Yes.
We're in beard vision.
LSD.
That's your theory?
That's my theory.
LSD?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it makes you do some weird things. So, I mean, what's the likelihood? What's the likelihood that you put your phone down just as your friend was calling and it didn't so much ring, and you put the phone down and somehow you answered it? I mean, I do crazy stuff like that all the time. So,
well, this is a phone was in a whole different place. The person's on the laptop in the room, hearing the voice like it's coming through a phone, but nowhere near. Nah? Okay. All right.
I mean, I was
LSD.
I was I was at work the other day. I was like, why do I hear Hank Williams? And it's just like coming, like, you know, I'm just hearing. I'm walking around work. I'm like, we're listening to Christmas music, but why do I hear Hank Williams?
And
TikTok was playing on my phone in my pocket.
That's in your pocket, though.
Yeah, but what? My phone. Look at my phone. Where did I put it? Right here. My phone has a full case all the way around it.
Sure.
You know?
You're haunted, dude. That's ghosts.
Whatever.
Don, you just had a paranormal experience. I'm just saying. That sounds kind of paranormal, though.
No. Whatever.
All right, we'll continue. Number 39, crash landing. When I was little, I had a wooden doll crib that rocked. It was maybe about 1.5 feet long. I kept it on the other side of my room from where my bed was, and one night I had one of those dreams where you feel like you're falling, and it wakes you up. When I woke up, I made a disturbing discovery. The crib was sitting on top of me, on my chest and abdomen. Oh, that's creepy.
What?
Apparently the crib was actually on this person. Now, I feel like this is an important detail to add.
Really? There's more details?
I sat straight up when I woke from the dream, and the crib fell off of me onto the floor and made a really loud noise. Some people have proposed that it might have been sleep paralysis, but I've never experienced sleep paralysis before or after. And if it had been, I don't think I would remember the crib falling onto the floor. That was by Yellow Green Beam. I don't know that sleep paralysis necessarily usually stacks furniture on you.
That'd be a poltergeist. Poltergeists do that.
Yeah, that's more of a poltergeist.
Or your cat, because you put chicken bread on their head.
Cats.
Yeah. Watch this.
Don is officially off the debunking team for the Paranormal Portal. Who's the cat?
No, sleepwalking, actually. I mean, come on.
Oh, there you go.
Sleepwalking. As a matter of fact, there's this gal on TikTok. Oh, my gosh. She has cameras in her house.
Oh, God.
And she videotapes her sleepwalking through the house.
And she has arguments and stuff?
Oh, she has full-blown conversations.
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
And
is she a heavier girl?
She's a heavier gal, yeah. One time,
hilarious.
One time her husband's sitting at the table, and she goes, "It's a wild animal." I was like, really?
Oh, that's pretty hilarious. I've seen some of her clips, and they are pretty humorous, folks. If you want to check it out, I don't know what it's called. Do you?
Scary Boo.
Scary Boo.
Scary Boo, I think. I don't remember, but
all right,
it's friggin' hilarious.
That is pretty hilarious. Number 40. We're going to stop on 40 after this.
Okay.
When Charles is not in charge. I remember that show.
There you go, yeah.
One time in the middle of the night, I heard someone scream my name, and they just suddenly screamed, "Charles!" at the top of their lungs. Nobody was there, and my parents were both asleep. Later that same month, my dad was making coffee, and he heard me whisper in his ear, "Dad." But when he turned around, nobody was there. I have zero recollection of doing this. I have sleep paralysis a lot, which may explain the first one, but I have no idea how my dad heard me talk to him while he was working in the kitchen. I don't believe in ghosts, but this does creep me out.
Oh, my gosh.
Again with that line, huh? I don't believe in ghosts, but this one time.
You know me. You know me.
I do.
My question is what would it take?
I don't know. That's a great question. What would it take? What more proof do you need?
I need to be abducted by gray ghosts.
A good probing wouldn't hurt either, as long as they're at it. Just saying. I'm open to the suggestion.
Oh my God, no! Probing leads to coring, and coring leads to death.
Yeah, maybe it's like, never mind. Maybe the probing is what precedes the coring, like you say, and that the probing is to grade it.
Dog food.
God. Oh. Yeah.
That's what they find. Keep going.
Oh. All right. Let's go to the next one.
Oh, jeez.
Terrified people's creepiest experiences. This is a one that we've touched a few of. I want to read a couple from here, and then we're going to move on. But this is the next Factinate article. This is a different one. No longer glitches in the Matrix, although those glitches started to sound an awful lot like just paranormal experiences. Right. But maybe most people attribute that as a glitch because they're not acknowledging the fact that we live in a paranormal universe. Number 5 on these people's most creepiest experiences. Hot on my trail. I was driving home from work late one night and heard the weirdest experience. I left the hospital and turned off the main road to a bunch of side streets. And at one point, I became aware of a car behind me that made the same left turn as me. What? The same left turn, Don? Obviously, that's creepy.
Huh.
They sped up and got close behind me, and I thought nothing of it at first. Maybe they're just in a hurry. Then I briefly thought about running into a convenience store to grab some food and turned on my right signal. But I realized I had food at home, so I turned my signal off. The car behind me turned on their right signal and turned it off as well, exactly as I had. At that point, I got a bit spooked. I thought that it was just too odd to be a coincidence. So I turned my right signal on, and they did as well. Instead of turning right at the next intersection, however, I turned left. They did as well. They proceeded to follow me through a series of odd turns, and eventually I turned onto a cul-de-sac I knew about, and I figured I could turn around there and look at the driver to see who was following me. As I approached the end of the road, they figured out that what I was doing. They stopped and did a fast 3-point turn and sped off. It was weird. I still don't know who was following and what for. That was by Biology J. Well, that just sounds like somebody being an idiot.
Right.
Yeah, or creepy. Maybe they were going to rob you or something, but no, that doesn't sound... I mean, it's creepy, but...
Right. Well, yeah.
It's not really paranormal. Let's try one more, and then we'll move on to the next one. This one is number 6. Knock, knock. Who's there? Don.
Who's there?
Dwayne.
Dwayne who?
Dwayne the tub, I'm drowning.
Oh, boy.
Thank you. That was free, folks. I just, I don't have many jokes, but that's what I remember. You didn't come for the humor. Dwayne the tub, I'm drowning.
Yeah,
No, nothing.
Yeah, I thought it. Jesus.
All right, let's see what this says. In my last year of university, I lived in a 4-bedroom house with a ground floor, then 2 floors with 2 bedrooms each. Excuse me. My friends had the first floor bedrooms, and I was on the second floor. The bedroom next to me was empty because the guy who had rented it was staying with his girlfriend. I don't think he ever slept there. My bedroom and the other one on the second floor had these small crawl space cupboards in the corners. I came back to the university after going home for a while. My friends were discussing noises sounding like footsteps that they had heard from my floor at night when I was asleep. I laughed because I hadn't heard anything myself, despite my friends saying that the noises were loud. Because I didn't believe them, I offered to go look at the crawl spaces, and we went upstairs, and I opened the door of the empty room. Right as I opened the door, I heard a noise that sent chills down my spine. The door to the crawl space in the other corner of the room slammed shut. It was as if someone had pulled it closed in a hurry. The door slammed shut with a bang. We freaked out. There was no reason for that door to have been open in the first place. So we grabbed kitchen knives, holed up in one of the rooms on the first floor, and waited for another friend to come and check out the cupboard in the attic. We never found out what those noises were, and honestly, I'm not sure that I want to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, sometimes you just want to leave things alone.
Leave it good. We'll leave it well enough alone, God.
Right.
Don't push it. Don't push it. Okay, let's go to the next one here. I never did go over. So, what did I want to get into now? Not this one. What was this one? I did want to touch on this. What do we have for time? Because it's all about time. 8:02. Maybe I should just do this one. Well, let's do a little bit of this one.
Oh, shout out to Paradox Fossils too. Thank you.
What did you do?
It's a donation.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. All right. We really appreciate that. This one is an article I wanted to get into. I just haven't touched it, but I thought it was kind of cool in the holiday season to, of course, talk about otherworldly encounters with angels and demons. Not so much the demon part, wasn't really the whole holiday thing, but it's written by Amanda Ashley. This is coming from ranker.com. It was last updated February 4th of 2021. But we'll take a look at it and see what she says. Battle Ready Angels, the first one. This is from Reddit, Rev Melissa. Years and years ago, I had this dream about this epic battle. My side was on the hill, and we were getting ready to fight, and there were angels on our side. One of the angels came to me and asked if I was ready to lead, and I naively said, "Yes, I'm ready." He looked me in the eyes and seriously responded, "Are you sure?" I woke, sitting up straight in bed. A year or so later, I was hanging out with one of my friends at the house. We had some beer, I was underage, and we were going to drink it. And when I went to open the bottle, the very same angel appeared in my door frame and shook his head no at me.
Wow.
I could see him as clearly as day. I asked my friend if she could see him, and she could not. She believed me, but she couldn't see. Needless to say, we had cookie dough instead of beer that night. Yeah, if an angel's showing up and telling you it's not a good idea, you
Yeah,
should
it's
pay
probably,
attention.
Probably a good idea to.
Yeah, don't push that one.
Yeah.
All right, number 2, snow angel melting. Snow melting angel, rather. I wish that I had one of these out on my sidewalk today.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome, Don.
Yeah, no doubt. Just walk up and
Just
down my
melt
driveway.
that crap off, will you, please? This is from a former Redditor. It says, the winter of my freshman year at college.
Wow.
Holy God.
Talk about melting snow angels, huh?
I guess one landed on the roof, folks. That was a big pile. Holy
Yeah, it was.
Christ.
That was big.
That was huge. We literally got like 8 inches of snow. And with the steep roof, it just comes down like a hammer.
He got 8 inches of snow.
What'd you get?
I got more like a foot.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'd like to feel bad for you, except that I'm already wallowing in my own self-pity now. So
I've got more ibuprofen in me than anything else.
my freshman year of college, I was seriously physically ill with a penicillin-resistant infection that caused me to double up in pain often.
Wow.
And I was battling mental illness as well. Oof. It was my first year in the upper Midwest, and it was the coldest winter in 10 years in the area. I was coming from the southwest deserts, where it rarely gets cold, very cold. I'd suffered through a couple of frostbitten toes already that winter. Oof. I have mild Raynaud's. I don't know what that means. Raynaud's disease.
It's their disease.
Circulation?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just learned that I had a chronic injury that would impact the activity I love to do most forever. I was struggling to fit in at college. I was attending, and every day I cried for hours because my classes were really hard for me. I just wanted to die. I prayed to die every day. One night I had a dream in which I woke in the morning and the snow was melting. There were flowers, the sun was out, everything was beautiful. I walked to class in the dream and sat down at a desk. The young man sitting next to me turned to me in the dream and told me, God told me to tell you that the snow will melt. I was confused, and the young man repeated the words in my dream, and I remember being surprised and realizing it was an angel. When I woke up right after that, I instantly felt better. I kept repeating the words to myself for the rest of that winter. Yeah, that's true. So, and I think that's a good takeaway, and it's kind of symbolic, right? Because, of course, being in that state of mind of not wanting to continue is tough.
Right.
But I think it's great to remember that, the snow's going to melt.
This too shall pass.
Right. This too shall come to pass. Right. And so that's a beautiful metaphor for that as well. So very cool. I think we all need that reminder because especially now lately, things are getting so heavy, folks. But if you're battling with that in your own world, just remember the snow is going to melt, and so will the problems eventually. Just hang on. All right, number 3. This is creepy. Shadow Church Demon.
I have to say something. I have to admit that to our Aussie friends, Maggie specifically, and apparently Brooks. Brooks isn't Aussie. No, she's down south, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're complaining about how hot it is. You got to be joking me, right? Now, admittedly, Maggie is on the opposite side of the earth from us.
That's true.
Okay, she's in summer right now. But Brooks, what the heck?
What the heck, Brooks? Come on.
Yeah,
You can
be 70 here. Yeah.
I know. It's like, it's hard to feel a great swell of pity about all the heat you're dealing with right now.
Oh, yes. I haven't even used my central heating yet. Woohoo! Big deal.
Come on up and try a shovel.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm telling you.
I got a shovel that'll fit your hands. Trust me. Look at my thumbs. They are calloused out.
This stuff is heavy and wet, too.
It is. It's nasty.
It's a brutal thing. All right, let's get to this
Jeez.
Shadow Church Demon.
Yeah.
It says, our church had 3 family members die in a farming accident, one of which was a professional rugby player, so it made worldwide news in rugby circles and the huge local news in the UK. About a month later, my dad is a janitor at our church, and one night while doing security, he caught a reflection of someone on the balcony.
Wow.
So he turned and saw what he described as a shadow standing. It spoke to him in a voice, but not audible voice. More like the voice you think in, but he didn't recognize it, so it wasn't his voice. If that makes any sense. It told him, "Man of God, I'm coming for you."
Wow, crap.
Ooh, that's creepy as hell.
Can I get a change of undies, please?
few weeks later, he was talking with our pastor, who's pretty new to the church. They're great friends, and was telling him about this. As he was mid-story, the pastor started drawing on a pad he picked up. While my dad was finishing his story, the pastor turned the drawing to him and said, "Was this him?" My dad confirmed that it was remarkably similar, too detailed to be drawn from my dad's description. My pastor told him that the same demon had sat where my dad was sitting about a week ago, and told him that he was a spirit of division and would do everything he could to split the church. Unfortunately, we had quite a split in the church about a year ago due to issues people had discerning scripture. To Dad and I, it's not just a coincidence, but that's just us.
That's interesting.
It is. I think, again, anything to do with the demonic, it's all about, with any abuse, it's all about taking away the things that give you strength. Mm-hmm. And certainly to cause people to argue, to cause division, to separate. One of the big strengths we have is having a group of peers, and that gives us so much strength. And I'm not speaking pro anything, whatever that is, whatever you believe in, to have a group of people that believe in that and strengthens those feelings and can, help to stay the course when things get tough.
Right.
But, I think that these creatures have nothing but time. They have nothing but time.
They've been around forever.
Right.
Yeah,
and
time is true.
They will dedicate all of their resources to tearing something down if that is indeed what they want. And, so I think it's no small thing to have a dark being like that, wanting to divide your world and to make things hard. So I think that's really quite unnerving. But right. Then there again, those experiences can really cause whatever faith you have to multiply and become strengthened by perseverance. So hang on to your beliefs, folks. Don't let the darkness change that. And I think right now in our world, there's plenty of dark things working. And that's my belief. Some people can say whatever they want, but I think that there seems to be an intelligence behind what's going on. It's not just random events. Right. And I think it's so important to remember what gives you strength, what makes you feel strong and empowered, and to, I don't know if I want to say the word rebuke because I don't want to sound all preachy, but to cast away those things that try to keep you weak. So I don't know, just my 2 cents, whatever it's worth. Number 4 is the green demon. I don't know. I didn't know the colors mattered, but, as far as, is it like, with dragons, there's the blue dragons, the red dragons, and I never thought of such things for demons, but anyway.
Well, you never know.
Never know. This is by throwaway 7893210. I believe I saw something evil. Not sure if the correct label is demon or what. When I was 4 years old, I was playing with my sister and decided I needed to get something from my room. I walked upstairs and into my bedroom. When I walked past the open door, I caught a glimpse of a figure hiding between the other side and the wall that terrified me more than anything I've been through since. I immediately screamed and ran downstairs to my mother, crying frantically, and it was a green color, deformed, etc. Here's the kicker. My mom was a teacher, so was always great at calming my sister and me down, and she gave me a piece of paper and some crayons and had me draw what I saw, so I could look at it and deal with it that way. After I drew it, she immediately grabbed the picture from me and faked a darn good, "It's okay, it's just your imagination" kind of tone. Much later, we were talking about how creepy the house I grew up in was, and I mentioned the green man behind my door. And she told me then that my older sister saw and drew almost the exact same thing when they first moved into the house. She's a very practical / skeptical woman, but that story freaks all of us out completely.
That's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Oof. That's creepy. Here's an angel one. I like the angel ones. Let's see what this is. The tallest angel. This is from Redditor. What's green eats nuts? Okay. I don't even know what that means, but that's hilarious. I've seen an angel. I was 11 years old, 30s now, but never doubted what happened. I was asleep in my room, and when I woke up in the middle of the night from a bright light shining through my room's curtains. Our street didn't have any street lights, and we also had tall trees lining the front of our house in the street, and I knew this light wasn't normal. Initially, I was terrified and lay as still as I could for what felt like 10 minutes. Eventually, I mustered the courage to go and satisfy my growing curiosity and made my way out of bed towards the window as quietly as I could. I positioned myself against the wall next to the window and pulled back the curtain just a bit. Then I saw him, a very big, tall figure wearing long robes looking over our house. The trees I spoke of earlier were taller than the roof of our house, and they took him at waist height. Huge. The light was radiating from him. I don't remember facial features or hair, but he didn't have wings. Awestruck, I went straight to my parents' room and woke them up, telling them of a tall man outside. Mom thought I just had a bad dream, and I got into bed with them and slept. The next morning, I told them the whole story, and they believed me. The experience was definitely changed my life. I can't imagine anything that could beat that angel in a fight.
Godzilla.
Gojira. Maybe. Oh, wow. That's crazy, though. It's huge. You know, it was when I was talking to Lucky, she was talking about angels. Mm-hmm. And I think she had an experience of something very similar to that. Very, very, very large. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that's really cool.
Wow.
Number 6, glowing red eyes demon. This is from Redditor Phasers to Fab. Not stun. Go to Fab. I saw a demon once when I was a kid.
Oh, Jesus.
It was a silhouette of something clearly not human. And it was standing in my neighbor's driveway. As cheesy as it sounds, it had glowing red eyes, too. I've heard what I believe were demons. Once I heard my entire family in the hallway talking about how they hated me.
Wow.
I was in my room silently crying about it and decided to walk out and just show them I heard what they said, and it made me sad. Well, I walked out and no one was there. I looked everywhere and I asked my family about it years and years later, and none of them knew what I was talking about. They're nice, and I have no reason not to believe what I heard was actually them. Plus, the house we were living in at the time had a lot of incidents like this. We were constantly hearing other people walking around, opening doors, the fridge, etc.
Wow.
Hey, that's creepy. All right, so this is a time-freezing angel. I think we'll stop on this one and go to the next 2 articles I want to get to before the time is up. Time-freezing angel number 7. This is from Tau31. Tau. I was a little kid. My friends and I crossed the street to get ice cream from an ice cream truck, and normally this road doesn't have much traffic. Well, I got ice cream and stupidly began crossing the street from the back of the truck. A truck was speeding my way, and it had to be 10 to 15 feet away from me. Time just froze, and so did I. I saw the truck, and then I felt and saw 2 hands guiding me across to the other side of the road. I believe it was an angel. I couldn't make out the face, but it had to be. That's very cool. Mm-hmm. Divine interventions, folks. We love them here on the portal. There should be more of them. We all need divine interventions, I think. So, at this point, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to an article by our good friend, Mr. Brent Swanser. Maybe we'll take a quick break, because I do have to use the loo.
All right.
So we're going to take a quick break first, folks. Don't go away. It'll just be a couple minutes. I got to use the facilities, because I got all that snow-moving juice falling out of me.
Oh, boy.
I don't even know if that makes sense. That's kind of gross now that I think about it. Never mind. I got to go to the bathroom.
Doesn't smell like apple juice. Oh, no.
Smells like asparagus. Why?
Oh, my goodness.
We'll be right back, folks.
All right.
Don't go away.
Play their games. Everybody loves to place their bets. They don't understand the price I paid. They don't care to comprehend. Trace the lines upon my body, dripping scars across my heart. Raging anger pours inside me as their lies keep falling apart. Finish with my silence. I am not a stupid boy. No more breaking me with kindness. Just you dance upon my joy. Leading me with empty promise. You're just another fucking mess. Taking off the slice of my sanity, just make sure that you're well fed.
Dream state, a nightmare from which they cannot wake.
I can't see you, Mommy. Where are you?
I've never sensed anything like it. Carol Ann is not like those she's with. They're attracted to the one thing about her that's different from themselves. Her life force. It is very strong. It gives off its own illumination. It is a light that implies life and memory of love and home and earthly pleasures. Something they desperately desire but can't have anymore. Right now, she's the closest thing to that.
Poltergeists are usually associated with an individual. Hauntings seem to be connected with an area. A house, usually.
Poltergeist disturbances are of fairly short duration, perhaps a couple of months. Hauntings can go on for years.
you go. Welcome back. We're into the last...
To everybody but Ruger.
To everybody but Ruger. Apparently he wants us to shut the hell up. So don't know what he's got going on, but apparently he needs less of this. And a happy Christmas to you too. No, we love you. We love you all. Thank you all for being here. We are going to get into the rest of the show. It's not quite a second hour, but the second segment of the show, as it turns out. And that's first thing we're going to cover on this segment of the show is an article from our wonderful friend, Mr. Brent Swanser, who is, again, probably the most accomplished paranormal journalist of our age. I just love this guy's writing. I love his detail and his lengths of which he goes to find out not only about a given incident, but surrounding incidents, historical incidents. He just really maps it out. And you can find his writing on mysteriousuniverse.org and check it out over there. They have so many brilliant authors and contributors over there, including Nick Redfern, Paul Seaburn, and several others. So it's definitely worth a read. You'll find articles basically about everything you're interested in. And mysteriousuniverse.org is also a podcast, much like the Paranormal Portal is also a podcast. And this isn't it.
This isn't it. No. Nope.
This is the YouTube show. So if you're looking for the podcast, this isn't it. You're going to find the podcast on all the major platforms, such as Pandora, Spotify, iHeart, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, CastBox, so many more. There's so many platforms that it's available on, but just go look at wherever you get your podcasts. Do a search for Paranormal Portal, and you'll find us there. And those are different episodes, so we love your support over there as well. And don't forget the Paranormal Portal Pieces channel, which is youtube.com/Paranormal Portal Pieces. Those are little bite-sized nuggets of these 2-hour shows, and hopefully to give you something to check out. But, as it were, we're going to get into that article by Mr. Brent Swanser, who you can also find in his group on Facebook, which is Dark League Paranormal. And this article looks cool. I haven't read it, but I love the artwork he used for it, so this is going to be pretty epic. It's The Mysterious World of the Changelings of Europe. Now, I love the concept of changelings. I think that that's a fascinating idea. It's not one that's relegated to just Europe. There are changeling stories in the Americas as well as everywhere else in the universe, I think. Definitely along the planet Earth, there's stories out of Japan of beings that change, like the famous fox that changes into a maiden or a wizened old man, and there's many other stories like that throughout Asia of changelings. And I've heard of at least one investigator up in Canada, a Bigfoot investigator, and I can't remember his name right now, but he was up doing a Bigfoot outing and was alone, solo camping on some logging roads up in, I think, Ontario, but I might be mistaken of where he was. But he said he was camping out of the back end of his pickup truck, and as he was sitting there, he saw this little gnome-like person walk about 50 yards behind his truck across the little logging road and under a tree. He said he couldn't believe it. It was enough ambient light in the nighttime that he could see that. Got out of his truck, ran back there with the flashlight, popped the flashlight on underneath this tree, and there was a mongoose. And he said, doesn't make sense. There was no mongoose there, but he saw, like, maybe not a mongoose, but like a badger or something like that is what he saw. Now that plays into the whole idea of the fae and or gnome, like, the fae magic or glamour or whatever. And so I think that we probably do have changelings around. We just, can't really nail them down because they change. And they can be natural animals as well as the magnificent creatures they are normally. So,
well, it's like that story we read. Well, it's been read a couple times, but just like last week, you were reading that story about the bear that was going towards that cave, and then it shrunk down and turned into a mouse going into a drain. A drain. Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, there was something really incredible going on there too. So I don't pretend to understand it. I just really believe there's still quote unquote magic in the world. We just don't know what it is. And perhaps all of these paranormal things, Dogman, Bigfoots, ghosts, and all the spiritual entities, perhaps some of the UFO entities are all a part of this other extra dimensional world, and bring into our experience things that we can't possibly understand as of yet. So I don't know. I think it's fascinating. But anyway, let's get to this article. That's enough of me prefacing it. But The Mysterious World of the Changelings of Europe, written by Brent Swanser, December 18th, 2021. So it's brand new. In the lore of many regions throughout the world, there have always been those tales of spirits and supernatural creatures watching over our children, sometimes with benevolent eyes and sometimes not so much. Such mythologies play upon our inherent fears that something might happen to our children, and in the days of old, these were very real supernatural threats. Among the numerous stories told along these lines, some of the most well-known and sinister are those of the fairy folk, who would come in to steal children and leave behind an impostor, by many accounts an abomination, most often referred to as changelings. In the lore of the numerous countries in the Europe and beyond, a changeling was more than just a copy of a child left behind by usually fairies, but sometimes elves, trolls, or some other spirit, depending on the culture, to replace a human child that they had abducted.
Goblin King, Goblin King.
Yeah, take him away.
That's not even what you say.
No, she said it wrong. The Doors, or whatever, in the Labyrinth. Yeah.
Labyrinth, yeah, the goblins.
Yeah, the goblins. Yeah. Oh, they're waiting in the wings. That's right. No, she said it wrong. Fairies would sneak into homes, spirit away the human child, and leave an imitation version, a changeling, in its place. And this would be done for several different reasons. Depending on the lore of a specific region, sometimes it was because fairies coveted human children and wanted one for themselves, and indeed some human children were said to live out the rest of their days in the fairy realm. On other occasions, it was to take a human child as a slave or servant out of malice or revenge, or even as no more than a prank. Fairies might also take a human child if they thought they weren't being cared for properly, or even because the changeling itself had requested to grow up in a human world. For instance, some older fairies supposedly requested to be made into changelings in order to become young again and start life anew in the human world. The children taken were almost without fail the most beautiful, which is why in some traditions, such as those of in Ireland, it was seen as bad luck to look at a baby with envy or praise its beauty too much, because this was thought to draw the fairies' attention to it and make the child a target. Wow. Although they looked indistinguishable from a human child, once a child was replaced with a changeling, there were varying ways to tell if they were an imposter. Again, depending on the region, in many traditions, changeling children were likely to look pale and sickly and may not grow up to be a normal size. They were often said to have long teeth, scraggly hair, or some hidden physical deformity or birth defect, such as extra toes. Changelings were said to have enormous appetites, eating far more than a normal human child of their size would. And they were also typically said to be more intelligent than a normal human child of their age. It was also said that they would demonstrate skills or abilities that their human doppelganger had not possessed. With psychic abilities, often mentioning that they were often said to have uncanny offness about their outward appearance, which was hard to put one's finger on, but would be unsettling to all who looked at them. Other traditions speak of the changeling becoming uglier with age. For instance, in Wales, it was believed that the changeling would start out beautiful but become ever more hideous as it grew up. People around the changeling child might also suffer physical effects, such as being unable to move their limbs, which was called being fairy-struck. Changeling children were also commonly described as acting very oddly, as well as never smiling or laughing when people were watching, although they would do so when they thought they were alone, and many times changelings were mute or spoke very little. The English poet and topographer George Waldron, who lived in the Isle of Man during the 18th century, would claim to have actually seen a changeling child and described it as follows. Nothing under heaven could have a more beautiful face, but though between 5 and 6 years old and seemingly healthy, he was far from being able to walk or stand, and that he could not so much as move any one joint. His limbs were vastly long for his age, but smaller than an infant's of 6 months. His complexion was perfectly delicate, and he had the finest hair in the world. He never spoke, nor cried, ate scarcely anything. He was very seldom seen to smile, but if anyone called him a fairy elf, he would frown and fix his eyes so earnestly on those who said it. Wow. It was as if he could look through them. His mother, or at least his supposed mother, being very poor, frequently went out a charing. I don't know what that was. Went out a charing and left him at a whole day altogether. The neighbors, out of curiosity, have often looked in at the window to see how he behaved when alone, which, whenever they did, they were sure to find him laughing, and in the most utmost delight. And this made them judge that he was not without company, more pleasing to him than any mortals could ever be. And what made this conjecture seem the more reasonable was that if he were left ever so dirty, the woman at her return saw him with a clean face and his hair combed with the utmost exactness and nicety. For a long time, changelings were seen as a very real threat, with many families constantly guarding against their child being abducted and replaced by these doppelgangers. And as with many other supernatural creatures, there were various methods to keep the changelings away. A common theme in many regions was the use of iron, thought to have a powerful repelling effect against the creatures. With iron objects such as knives and scissors left around the child cot to keep them at bay. Other ways included constantly watching the child, laying the father's clothes on the bed, keeping a fire constantly lit in the room, baptizing the child, and other strange customs such as placing urine around the bed. Most traditions also feature various charms, amulets, herbs, or salves that could be used to keep changelings away as well. But despite all these precautions, there was never any certain guarantee that a child wouldn't be taken, and replaced by the fairies. Wow. In almost every tradition of changelings, they were not seen as a desirable or benevolent presence, mischievous at best, portents of misfortune, death, and ruin at worst. For this reason, if a changeling was spotted in a family besides the parents just wanting their own child back, it was in the best interest to get rid of it before problems came their way. Okay. And there were various traditions on how to do this. In many countries, it was thought that torturing a changeling until it laughed would do the trick, causing it to leave and bring the human child back. In Ireland, it was thought that throwing the changeling into a fireplace, oh dear God, would cause it to jump up to the chimney and return the human child. Indeed, many countries had the tradition of using fire or otherwise heating the changeling, such as in the oven or in order to banish it.
Wow.
They could also be beaten and mistreated in order to force them to admit their true nature. In other traditions, it was enough to simply trick the changeling into speaking or laughing by any means necessary. And there were certain rituals that could be carried out as well. If a family was lucky, the changeling would just get bored and go away on its own, although there were no guarantees that the human child it had replaced would ever be returned. Mm-hmm. Yet even with all these deterrents and weapons against the changeling threat, many families felt compelled to care for it simply because they were afraid that something bad would happen to their real child if they didn't. On occasion, this could lead to the thankful changeling giving back the human child as a reward for their kindness, but usually the changeling would remain. In some cases, the changeling would be raised as the family's child through to adulthood, but with the changeling sometimes even forgetting that they were what they really were and believing themselves to be human. In this case, the human child that they had replaced would live out with the fairies forever and would sometimes themselves forget that they had ever been human at all. There are many historic tales of changelings that grew up in human society. King Charles I of England, 1600 to 1649, was reportedly rumored to have been a changeling. And there is also the tale of a woman named Bridget Cleary, who was murdered by her own husband in 1895 when he suspected her of being a changeling. Oh, geez. The stories of changelings reverberate through the lore of many European countries, including the United Kingdom, Scandinavia, Poland, Spain, and others, and similar tales stretch out of Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. Why is it that such similar stories have managed to worm their way into these far-flung lands? One of the main theories in modern times is that this was a way of explaining and dealing with from infants born with birth defects or deformed, developmentally disabled or neurodivergent children, as well as those with autism in an age where there was little to medically or scientifically explain such things. This could have perhaps been a way to rationalize such children. The parents would see these defects and convince themselves that this couldn't possibly be their own child, but rather an imposter left by supernatural forces. It is horrifying in a sense, as such folklore and beliefs likely led to countless instances of innocent children being mistreated, tortured, abandoned, or even killed. We may never know how such stories evolved, or why they remain so eerily similar across geographical and cultural divides. But they certainly play into every parent's fears that something might happen to their child and remain a curious area of strange lore with deep roots in mystery.
Yeah, no doubt.
Wow. So that's, if you ever watched, there was a Guillermo del Toro did this.
That guy's so twisted.
He is, he must have quite a understanding of lore and legend, because he did this series called Troll Hunter.
Yeah.
And
and all the Arcadian.
Yeah, the Arcadian stuff. Yeah, yep.
All of it.
Yep, it's all based on different legends and such like this.
Right.
But in the Troll Hunter series, there was a changeling, where a child was abducted and changed with a changeling, and I I didn't realize this was such a legend or belief in ancient times.
Right.
Wow.
He just put out a new movie too, and it seemed kind of creepy to me. But that's not surprising, because a lot of his films are just creepy as hell.
They really are. He's really got a knack for that.
Because he's done Pan's Labyrinth.
Yes.
He did The Desolation of Smog, The Unexpected Journey.
Right, that's right.
The Shape of Water. But there's a new movie he just put out that I just saw the trailer for. Oh, that's right. He also did the adaptation of Hellboy.
Oh, right.
Yep.
The first one. Did he do the second one?
No, the first one.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I like the first and second one. I didn't mind the newest one. That was decent.
I hated them all.
Did you really?
Yeah, I'm not much into that. He also does. He also did Pacific Rim. I'm not much into the Hellboy stuff. I never.
Sure.
Really, I thought it was just kind of. I'm sorry, it was just kind of crass. I mean,
Yeah.
Look at me. I mean, I'm crass in quite a few ways. Maybe I just don't like to be challenged. So anyhow.
Yeah, you don't like your crassness challenged.
But yeah, so gosh, I wish I could remember the name of that new movie he just put out. But yeah, there you go. And also, I saw him on a great documentary about H.P. Lovecraft.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He was a big H.P. Lovecraft.
That might explain it.
Yeah.
At least some of it.
Pan's Labyrinth, Hobbit, Shape of Water, The Orphanage.
I guess I didn't realize that he was involved with the desolation.
Yeah, he did the
Smog.
Battle of the Five Armies too.
Oh, very cool. Okay. Yeah, I think what he does is generally pretty good stuff.
Prolific, actually.
Yeah, incredibly.
Julia's Eyes. That was a movie that we've been told to watch before, but never really paid attention to it.
Julia's Eyes?
Yeah, Julia's Eyes. I don't know why.
I don't remember. I don't know. I get recommended checking things out all the time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I just don't either
There's
have
just
the
so
time or
much.
interest.
Yeah.
There's so much to look into. I love that you guys suggest things, though, because sometimes I do look into it when it's like a YouTube video or something. I'll look into those quite often. I just got an email today about somebody wondering if it could be an EVP on a different podcast recording.
Oh.
And I listened to it, and I think it wasn't. I think it's a noise gate, so that the noise is quiet and it's being relegated, but sometimes noises jump over that threshold and they become audible, and then
One of ours?
No.
Oh.
Another show.
Oh, gotcha.
So, but I did listen to it. It was interesting, though. It did almost sound very EVP-y, but I think it was just
Kung Fu Panda 3 too.
He did Kung Fu Panda 3?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, he's got a lot of things going on. He's quite prolific, isn't he?
He is actually. Yeah, he's actually really good. So.
Amen. Well, there you go. All right, so where are we at for time? We're at 43. Okay. So I'm going to do an article now from phantomsandmonsters.com. Again, special thanks to Lon Strickler, letting us peruse these and go through them. And this is a brand new one.
Oh, a charring. Sorry, got to come back to this real quick.
What
A
is it?
charring. That the mother would go a charring and leave the son.
Yeah,
at
what
home.
is that?
A charwoman is an old-fashioned occupational term referring to a part-time paid worker who comes into a house or other buildings to clean it for a day, for a few hours a day or every week, as opposed to a maid who usually lives in the household. So this is like, an independent, I'll
Okay.
clean your house for $2 and
Kind of like
$5.
today's versions of having a cleaning lady come.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those are a charring.
Yeah. That's a char woman
Okay.
or a char person.
That's
so to
interesting. I like learning those old figures of speech. They're pretty fascinating.
say. Yes.
All right. Let's get to this article from Phantoms and Monsters. And this has to do with Bigfoot
Thank you, Maggie.
in Pennsylvania.
Maggie says Kung Fu Panda is my spirit animal. I didn't realize I was somebody's spirit animal.
Are you a Kung Fu Panda?
Well, Poe.
Oh,
I'm round like Kung Fu Panda.
sure. Why not?
Wear
You
a
like
lot of black and white.
Absolutely. I guess you could probably qualify.
Yep, there you go.
All right, let's check this out. Yes, there are truly Bigfoot in Pennsylvania. This is a brand new one from December 22nd of this year. So let's see how long it is. Yeah, there's a little bit of meat in this on this tater. So let's check it out. It says a Pennsylvania hunter and his son have been noticing telltale physical evidence of Bigfoot habituation in their neck of the woods
Oh boy.
over the past 6 years. They're sharing their encounters. All right, I got it up. We're good. Okay. It says late November 2015, during first day of deer firearm hunting season in Pennsylvania, me and my son and brother were hunting on private land. Quad trails was the easiest way to hunt this area, but me and my son are true blue deer kickers. True blue deer kickers? One will sit on the trail. The other will take a 100-yard track through some of the thickest and roughest stuff you could go through. So after about 3 hours of deer kicking, we met up at the top of the hill, which overlooked 3 valleys. So me and the boy walked to the top of the highest valley we were standing on. While we were tracking towards the top of the hill, we had to cut through some really thick briars. After coming into a huge opening, we saw a giant stack of twigs intertwined over some big logs. We were curious, so we climbed on top of it, and let me tell you, it was strong, real strong. And my boy and I smelled, my boy said it smelled. I myself lost my sense of smell in a car accident, broke my nose up pretty bad, and it never got it fixed, so I lost that sense. So while I was standing on top, I asked my boy if there was an opening, or is it just all sealed up and solid? And he walked 3/4 of the way around it, but could not get to where I thought it was the opening. It was straight down a cliff. It was a straight down a cliff. So with so many sticks and stuff in front of it, was just a way too tough to even check out. We sat on top of this huge structure for quite a while. I smoked and he did too. So we sat there enjoying a cigarette and kept asking each other what the heck this giant structure was. I was joking around and said, I bet you it was Bigfoot, doing the old, yeah, right, joking around. We crawled down off the huge mound of sticks and logs, walked through all the rough stuff again, and came to a nice clearing on top of the 3 valleys that came together. We only hunt with 12-gauge pumpkin ball. What's a pumpkin ball, Don?
I don't know.
Okay, well, we only hunt with 12-gauge pumpkin ball. Is that a slug, maybe?
No,
Okay.
maybe.
So as we were sitting there, I kept my eye on the other side of the valley. We're still joking around about the Bigfoot deal, and I look across the valley, and out of nowhere, a huge black blob appeared 1/4 mile down the hill. So I pulled up my gun with a 4-power scope, enough to see clear at that distance, kept looking at it, and I saw that it was hairy. I gave the gun to my boy and said, keep that black blob in the scope until I get my camera out of my jacket, which had a 16-power lens on it. I could really get a good look at it and take a picture while I was at it. We don't have too many bear, especially in that area. Game lands right over the mountain we were on, but still 5 miles away. I told my son, don't take your scope off it just in case it moves. We both never seen a wild bear, and for it being that close to us while we were talking. carrying on and laughing and smoking cigarettes. I've heard bear are super smart and can smell things 2 miles away. I don't know, because I don't hunt bear, but if it was a bear, I wanted a picture of it. So my boy kept his scope on the black blob. I had a hard time finding my camera with all my clothing. My boy, being anxious, took his eyes off the scope of the huge blob, turned to ask me, "Did you find it yet?" When we both looked back, we saw a flash of black go over the mountain about 150 yards away from where it was. We both looked at each other and had the same question. Did you see that? How the heck did it get up and over the mountain that darn far away and fast? So that was not the end of the sighting. It took us about 1.5 hours just to get back to the truck. We were taking our time after seeing something like that just baffled both of us. We were walking down the quad trail, and out of nowhere, a rock comes flying right past us. Stopped us in our tracks. We're both looking around. We can't see anything. Now we are close enough to communicate with my other brother, who was hunting the easy trails, got on the radio two-way and asked where he was at. He said he was 100 yards away from the truck. Me and my boy were 300 yards away, so we were close to getting out of the woods and close to the truck. Plus, we had not seen anything. No birds, deer track, nothing. It was uncanny, just weird, so me and the boy figured after agreeing to yell out, "Who's there?" We thought we might have been in someone's hunting spot. No answer. So as we're walking towards the truck, we kept hearing twigs and limbs snapping in the whole way as we walked. We would stop, and so would they, or it. We both kept talking and asking each other the same question the whole walk down. "Did you hear that? What's that smell?" the boy would say. About 150 yards away from the truck, we sat and waited. Not one noise. Nothing. Waited for at least an hour, smoked cigarettes, kept asking each other what threw a rock at us. We were joking about it, and my boy said jokingly, "It's a Bigfoot." We got up, got ready to go. We were done for the day. As we stood up, something big got up and took off. It was huge and heavy. It was making enough noise that my brother, sitting down by the truck, jumped on the radio and asked us did we chase up a deer. We both said no, but me and my boy struggled to even see what the heck it was. We both could not see anything, so I joked with the boy and we laughed 50 yards away from the truck. As we were unloading our guns, we all three heard the strangest howls and growls. To this day, I cannot replicate the sounds. My brother, until this day, said it was a bear. Me and my boy, we know what it was. The very next year, the private property was blocked off, and the people that owned it said they were protecting that piece of land. Well, I know why, and I don't blame them. I know the thing that everybody wants to cash out on if they kill it. I want these Bigfoot to have their space and home where they don't have to worry about us. I believe they should be protected. The next season, we went 2 miles up the road on another piece of private property, and wouldn't you have guessed it, there are pushed over trees on the quad trails. We heard whistles also. My brother heard those too, but he said it was just a hunter. Me and my boy know. Yes, we do. So even though we seen it, heard it, know the signs of them, we are not afraid. Not because we have guns or bows, but because I have respect for the big guys, and I know, and they have their space and we have ours. We're just walking through their living room and grabbing something to eat. And if we ever have a conflict in the woods with them, I will leave. It is their house, by the way. So now we have another place 5 miles away, and wouldn't you have guessed it, there are signs of Bigfoot there also. We have them here in Pennsylvania and in a populated area. If need be, I can send pictures next year, now since I know what we're looking at. Me and the boy both agreed not to tempt them by grunting, wood knocking, or howling. We are invading their house. We are the intruders. No reason to act like them or to try to harm them in any way. I would dislike shooting or harming something so close to humans. So it says, the witness made it clear that the general location would not be disclosed. I agree with their wishes. Yes, Bigfoot truly does inhabit Pennsylvania, and many of us would be would like for it to stay that way. Yeah, amen. I think, they've been here a long time, folks, and they seem to want our absence.
Yeah.
So I don't think pushing ourselves onto them any further than just general encroachment is necessary. I think if you do find them, here's the thing. Yeah, I think it would be great if it was substantiated, but again, I think that it would really kick up a hornet's nest of problems.
Yes.
For these creatures, because, man, everybody and their brother would be heading to the woods to try to see one, whereas right now people just don't bother because it's not substantiated. But if it were substantiated, it'd be a problem. It would be so many problems, and could maybe push them to extinction. So I don't know. Just some thoughts, but I just think they're better left alone. I mean, we do have encounters with them. People do see them, so they seem to be doing just fine in our absence. So I say we leave them that way. Don't you think, Don?
I agree. There's just too much. Well, if you want to just talk about, everything that we're doing to encroach on anything, you could just look at the, the rainforest and things like that. But of course, we're not talking about the rainforest. We're talking about, encroaching on, the big guy, shall we say, as they refer to him. And so, at some point, something's going to have to break if we keep doing that.
Right.
But, I mean, because look at reports from like Canobia and the Big Thicket and things like that,
Yeah.
and what was the Brown Springs? Brown Springs, yeah, sure, yeah. Cindy's been down that way.
Yeah, she has been, yeah.
And so, I mean, yeah, so apparently there are bad things that can happen when Bigfoot gets tired of you being anywhere near him. So there you go.
There you go. In the famous words of Mr. Don Longbeard, there you go.
There you go.
All right, folks, and there you go, because I think that's our episode for tonight. I hope you guys had a good time. Thank you all so much for being here with us. And as always, please spread the word. Please share these episodes on your social media. That's the best way you can help us. So if you said, Brent, what do you want for Christmas? What I want is for you guys to share these episodes on your social media so that other people can check them out and hopefully become part of the family as well. I do want the portal to grow, and it's been growing, but I think it's time to kick it into high gear.
Yep. And
any way you guys can help would be amazing. So that's probably one of the biggest ways. But, again, do as you will. It's just a suggestion. Just know that we do love you guys, and we're thrilled that so many of you keep coming in and hanging out with us. Now, I think we're going to do a show on Friday.
Night,
yeah, Friday night. And you're going to be here, right?
Yeah. Barring any weird...
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, barring any 6 feet of snow or something. Yeah, but we should be here Friday night. I'll be here anyway because this is home. So
there you go.
It's where I live. But at any rate, folks, we hope you, if you don't come back or we don't see you before the holidays, just please know, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate. We love you, and we're absolutely thrilled that you have been a part of our experience. What do you got, Don?
What an experience it's been. Definitely. Yep. Just Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy whatever, Happy Yule, and just be safe.
Be safe. All right, folks, that's it for us. Remember, we love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the laughter in every day. And
no, it's find the magic in every day.
Find the magic in every day. And laugh as much as you can.
There you go.
I'm so tired.
Wow.
All right, guys, we love you. Good night.
Good night.